Hello and welcome to what I hope will be Tuesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic. I'm starting this one a little bit earlier than usual today because I'm anticipating a ferocious battle. This is the latest puzzle by IcyFruit. We have had we've had recommendations, but we've had far more requests to try and solve this. Apparently it is absolutely brutally difficult. You'll know if you've been following the channel for any amount of time that the longest videos, the longest Sudoku solves we've ever featured have all been IcyFruit puzzles. One of them is exactly the same length as the extended edition of Return of the King, in the last film of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which it was over 4 hours. And look, it's called Shambhala. This one, I confess, I don't know what that means actually, but I snipped some comments before I turned on the webcam from Logic Masters about this. I love this snooker. Well, I love it but in a sort of way that creates anxiety. Sublime puzzle with many layers of almost impenetrable logic. A real challenge and therefore extremely rewarding to finally solve. Epic is indeed an understatement. I think we need a special difficulty level to choose from for this one. Probably 7 stars. Thank you, says Snookerfan. I mean, that is extraordinary. Henry Pye James, who is a fantastic solver, looked utterly terrifying at the start. Breaking in seemed completely hopeless for a long time. What does Jolly Rogers say? The journey to solve this puzzle was akin to becoming fluent in a foreign language. Super satisfying to unlock each breakthrough. Thanks for setting. LM Damasi. Wow, just amazing. So much fun to be had with this one. There is a beauty here that one has to experience to understand. And the great Codec says what? That kind of terrifying beauty that us mere mortals cannot fully comprehend. That was better than epic. Oh, good grief. I mean, it sounds brilliant, doesn't it? I have had a read of the rules before I turned on the webcam and didn't understand them really. So they're not very long, though. To be fair, I don't think it's the rules that are giving rise to whatever nonsenses IcyFruit has hidden in this puzzle. But we'll have a look at it together in a moment or two's time. I really hope that this is not going to be a wasted effort. What can I tell you about before? Oh, by the way, the other reason I thought, I am very nervous, actually, as a rule, about these longer videos. And I asked some of you at Stratford, really, what sort of length videos do you like to see? And the overwhelming response was that you really like long videos. And you'll forgive me for sort of being a bit surprised. I mean, but anyway, it was very encouraging to hear that. I just presume people don't have enough time in their lives to watch long videos. Certainly not very often anyway. So we are cognizant of that. But it does make me appreciate that. I don't know whether more often or we've got it about right at the moment. Longer videos, and this might be a very long video, are something that the community wants me to try to do. So anyway, I heard that message when we were in Stratford. Now, Blueprints last night, Mark and I did a bit of streaming, and we're very sorry. YouTube somehow, at this time of year, when the clocks change in the UK, YouTube seems to take it upon itself to meddle with what I'm putting into it. So I'm telling it, I want it 10 o'clock UK time for the stream to go live. And then somehow that's got sent out as 9 o'clock UK time. I don't know why. I'm so sorry for those of you who are hanging on for an hour waiting. I feel terrible about that, but anyway, thank you very much for joining us. We had our usual fun. We are definitely going back. I'm not sure we were quite as successful last night as we sometimes have been recently, but we're definitely going back. Probably be next Monday. look out for an announcement. If you've hit the bell icon, you should get a notification. Oh yeah, over on Patreon, let's talk about that. How are we doing with our flags competition? This is our Sudoku competition for the month of November. You can see as of yesterday, this is where we were. Let's reload. So we had 114 solves of all the puzzles. Yeah, it's going up. We're almost at 1,000. Almost at 1,000 for the first one, and nearly at 200 for all of them. Fantastic work. Well done to everybody. I think some of these puzzles are challenging, so there may be less of them, but they should give you something to get your teeth into. Plenty of time left. Closing date's the 20th. Do have a crack at it. Chance to make a Sudoku video that will appear on the channel if you win the competition. Now, birthdays. Let's do some birthdays. Matthew, you're allergic to chocolate. I'm sorry to hear that. And I think you're turning 42 today, which is almost, it's a secret of life, the universe and everything, isn't it, according to Douglas Adams. So it may not be the Sudoku secret, but it's nearly as good. And Matthew, many happy returns. I hope you can have some sort of cake, and that the icing is suitably profligate and prodigious in quantity. Next, Sam. Sam, it's your birthday today. I'm not sure how old you are, Sam, but your girlfriend Amanda wrote to me and said you might appreciate a shout out, and she thought the shout out might also let you know how much she appreciates you and your hobbies. So I think that's a sort of backhanded compliment there to the channel. But anyway, you're going to, is it Boobala? Is that Middle Eastern food? I might be wrong about that, but you're going there for your dinner, I think, or your birthday meal. So I hope it is good, and I hope that they have puddings in the form of heavily iced chocolate cake. Sam, many happy returns. And also, the only other announcement or thank you I'd like to make is to Kevin. This isn't a birthday, but Kevin just wrote us an email, and it was really a very, very kind email. And Kevin, thank you for doing that. Kevin is a chemistry professor over in Pittsburgh. Yeah, it was lovely to hear. So Kevin, I just wanted to say thank you. Now let's have a look. Shambhala by IcyFruit. I have had some food because, I mean, isn't it crazy that I actually have to think about calories, because such might be the length of the video. Okay, but anyway, let's have a look at the rules to Shambhala by IcyFruit. The rules are as follows. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Well, I understand that rule. So we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Circle a digit in each row, column, and box. Each circled digit must be different. Shade some cells such that within any row, column, or box, the number of shaded cells is equal to the circled digit. Okay. Let's just stop there. Let's just stop there and see if we can understand what that means. So does that mean if that's a 7 and it's circled, I'm going to have to find a circly colour. Let's put a circle round it. Okay, so shade some cells. Right, so in this box there has to be 7 shaded cells. In this row there has to be 7 shaded cells, and in this column there has to be 7 shaded cells. And there's only one circled digit in this column, row, and box. Oh, this is going to be horrendous, isn't it? It's going to be horrendous, because, I mean, imagine that's a 6 and that's circled. Oh, something's flown in. It's a wasp. Oh no, don't be a wasp. Go on, go in the spider web. Go in the spider web. There's 2 wasps. There's 2 wasps. Oh no, actually it's not. I've got a spider web over there, and the spider, I thought it's a big spider, and it's come to get the wasp. And now the wasp has landed on my Lego. Oh dear, oh dear. That's going to be so distracting. I don't know if I can deal with the rules of this puzzle and with the Wasp. Oh, oh. Anyway, hang on. Let me try it. Let me try and do that. Yeah, so what was I thinking? I was thinking that this column has 7 shaded things in it. And then however many shaded cells are up here are going to contribute to the 6 shaded cells that would be in this box. I mean, it's absolutely bizarre already. And there's more rules. It says, right, a digit in a diamond is not circled. So there are loads of diamonds. Can I double? No, I can't. Oh, I can double click. How come I can double click that one, but not that one, or that one? That one I can double click. Must be because it's in a cage or something. That's weird. Okay, but a digit in a diamond is not circled and equals the sum of the circled digits in its row and column. Sum of its circled digits. So let's look at this one. So we'll just highlight this cell to say this is the one we're looking at. And what that's saying is we look in this row and we find a circled number somewhere. And we look in this column and we find a circled number somewhere. And we sum those two numbers together and write it in there. Okay, that seems fairly clear. Maverick's taken off as well, so I'm not only getting pestered by wasps, I'm getting pestered by Maverick. Where's the wasp gone? I'm cheering for the spider. Anyway, shaded digits within a cage. I can see it out of the corner of my eye. It's flying again. No, go on, go out the window. Oh, it's close. Oh, it's gone in. No, this is not good YouTube content. Me watching a wasp. No, no, no. Go away. It's a massive wasp as well. Go on, go out. Sorry, shaded digits within a cage sum to the value given in the top left of the cage. I may have to get rid of this. It's right in my eye line all the time. Oh, and it's buzzing. I might be going under my legs now. Hang on. Hang on. I think I am going to have to try and get rid of it. Where's it gone? Right, 1 second. I'll be back. Okay. Right, sorry. The bad news is that I tried to find the wasp and I can't find it. I have to hope it's flown out of the window. But okay, so I mean, there's nothing else to do. Sorry. What? Now let's return to the puzzle. And hopefully we won't get interrupted so rudely again. Now, shaded digits within a cage sum to the value given in the top left corner of the cage. So in that cage, what are we being told? We are being told that okay, so we're not being told, well, we might be being told it's 1, 2, 3, 5, but only if all 4 of those are shaded. If, for example, oh, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to say, if, for example, these two were, let's have an unshaded, and these two were shaded, then these 2 digits would sum to 11. Wow, okay. well, do have a go. Try not to be distracted by any insects in your vicinity. And the way to play, as usual, is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, I think what I've established by doing the little example we did during the rules is that this is very complicated. So each diamonds can't be circled. That's why I said that. That's why they all see two circles, don't they? Because if you could circle a diamond, it wouldn't be the sum. It's saying, yeah, a diamond is not circled. So there's always going to be, in this row, there's always going to be a circle in one of those, and there's always going to be a circle in one of those. We sum them up and we get that. And that's going to be the case for all of the diamonds. And there are, I was going to say there are 10. I think there are 9 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hang on. That box. What does that mean? That's got a cage in it, which is only size is 3. Now the secret, something I share with only my very favourite people, but the secret of Sudoku is that all the digits in a Sudoku box sum to 45. So the 3 is how many shaded cells there are. So there aren't many shaded cells in there. There can't be. The max, yeah. So the maximum number of shaded cells in this box is 2. If those 2 were shaded and they contained 1 and 2, that would add up to 3. And that's what we have to do, isn't it? Oh, but the other option would be that there was just a shaded 3. Yeah. So the number of shaded cells in this box is 1 or 2. And that means the circle in this box is a 1 or a 2. Yes, that is what it means. So in this box is a circle with a 1 or a 2 in it. So if the circle hang on, how does this work? So if the circle is a 1 in this box, then the shaded cell is different to the circle, obviously, and is a 3. And if the circled cell is a 2, then it is itself shaded along with an extra 1 in the box. Okay, but not much of that box is shaded. Right. Okay, so here is a question. Where is... There's some box in this puzzle, some which is completely shaded. But, so imagine that was a 9. And its circle, and there must be a circled 9 because it says every circled digit is different. So there is a circled 9. So if this is a circled 9, the whole box is shaded, the whole row is shaded, the whole column is shaded. So that 9 cannot be it cannot be here in this box, this box, this box, or this box. Because if it was, it's going to throw off 3 shadeds. So imagine that was a 9. All 3 of those would be a 9, wouldn't there? So wherever you put the 9 in any of these boxes, it would make 3 shaded cells in this box. And there can't be 3 shaded cells because those 3 shaded cells would themselves need to sum to 3. So the shaded, no. So the circled 9 is either here, well, not in that cell, but it's either in this box. I was going to say it can't be in this box because that would make all of that cage shaded, but that's fine, providing that the 9 isn't in that cage. The same is true there. So then the shaded 9 is in, not the shaded 9, the circled 9. Oh, it's so confusing. The circled 9 is in one of those cells. One of those, no, one of those boxes. Ah, no, it's not. Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah. Okay, where is circled 9? And I don't know where it is, but I know roughly where it is. And it's got nothing to do with this box. Where is circled 9? That's the question we're going to ask. Because what we've already been told is that the diamonds sum the circled digits in their rows and columns. So could we put circled 9 there? No. Because this digit is summing up circled 9 plus whatever circled thing was in its column. So that digit would be at least a 10. So circled 9 has to be in a row and column without a diamond. Now, I think I'm right in saying that that's going to put it in one of those cells. There is a diamond in every row, other than these 2 rows, and these 2 columns. So that little congregation of digits down here contains circled 9. Ah, okay. I mean, what I'm about to say is not the most brilliant deduction ever, but it is a very tiny deduction. That means that all of that is shaded, doesn't it? Let's just make it all shaded. That's got to be entirely shaded. So this 16 is made up. It's not 7, 9 as a domino, because all 3 of those cells are shaded. So if the 9 is in one of those cells, it's got 2 other digits that sum to 7 with it. Now, also, whichever one of these is a 9, its whole column and row is also going to be shaded. So let's just think about that. So let's imagine this was, let's put a circle around it just to hammer this home. If that's shaded, these are shaded, these are shaded. I'm sorry, let me just stare at this for a second and hope that some sort of clever thought occurs to me. And then I just stopped talking. If that box has a 1 in it, circled 1, no, that does work. It's really strange, this, because the circled and the fact that there's a circled digit and then there's shaded digits as well. Because see, one thing I'm thinking is, if that was a 1 and it was circled, then yeah, this is weird. The shaded digit, there must be one shaded digit now in this box, but it can't be in those it can't be sort of at a compass point from that cell, because that's going to put two shadeds, because the sort of radial coming out of box 9, wherever this 9 is, it's going to throw off a radial upwards and a radial across, and it might be there, it might be there, but that's going to be that means that this circled 1, if it was a circled 1, is going to see that in its row and see that in its column. So the shaded digit that would be in this box with this couldn't be in those directions, because imagine it was here, there was now two shadeds in this column. But if, on the other hand, this has got shaded 2 in it, not shaded, circled 2, then you could absolutely put you've also got two shadeds to put in. They couldn't both be in the same vertical or horizontal plane, but they... yeah, I mean, I don't know. No, this is very, very... This is very difficult to even understand how to think about this. I'm sorry, I haven't got anything at the moment. I'm trying to think about what the natural point is that I meant to... Okay, here. All right, I'm going to make a different point, and this is a very silly point, but again, I'm going to make it. Yeah, okay, this is silly, but it's not silly. Which boxes in this puzzle contain circled 1 and circled 2? Now, actually, we know this box definitely does have a circled 1 or a circled 2. But I also now know, because there's a 9, because there's a radial being thrown off from box 9 in either that column or this row or this row, this box could never have circled 1 or 2 in it, because there will be a radial coming from the 9 in this box that has three shadeds in it. So this can't have circled 1 or circled 2, this can't have circled 1, this can't have circled 1 or 2, this can't have circled 1 or 2. So circled 1 and 2 are in these boxes. I mean, I don't know how to put that. Do I do that? Maybe. And they can't, circle digits can't go on diamonds. And I know this box, and maybe what I'll do is I'll put a 1 or a 2 right in the middle of this box to say this box definitely has a circle 1 or a circle 2 in it. So I think it's going to be something to do with right, let's try this. Where's circled 8? That's the question I'm going to start to think about. Where is circled 8? Now, the answer is I have literally got no idea, or I've got almost no idea. The thing I do know is that circled 8 is not in this box, and therefore circled 8 will see a diamond wherever I put it. If I put it there, it'll see that one and that one and that one. Okay, hang on. Right, here, okay, I've got a new point then. Okay, my first point was going to be this. Circled 8, because it can't be in box 9, wherever I put it in the grid, it will be in a row or column with a diamond, and therefore that diamond will see the circled 8, but will also need to see the circled 1 in order for it to only add up to 9. So let me try and pick a better one. No, that's a bad one. This might be it, actually. So let's make that circled 8. If that's circled 8, then how does that work? So then this one and this one have circled 8 in their row and column. So I think that would have to be circled 1. Because otherwise one of these would be bigger than 9. In this one's column it would have to see circled 1. In this one's row it would have to see circled 1. Otherwise it would be bigger than 9. So it's something to do with where you put circled 8. Oh dear, hang on, let's reinstate the 1 and the 2. So circled 8, wherever you put it, sees a diamond that will be a 9. Yeah, sorry, and that leads me to the second thing I was going to say, which is that actually that column, for example, couldn't ever have circled 8 in it. Why not? Well, it's because there are 2 diamonds in that column. So imagine this was circled 8. One of these diamonds could see circled 1 in its row, but the other one then couldn't, and would see at least circled 2 in its row, and would be a 10 at least. So, and that's going to be true for any row and any column that has 2 diamonds in it. There actually aren't that many of those. There are. I've seen. No, there are 4. Okay, so if I just quickly sketch that out. So we can't put circled 8 in this column for that reason. I mean, it could never have gone into box 9 anyway, but it can't be there. It can't be in row 1. That's 2 diamonds in row 1. It can't be in row 3. There's 2 diamonds in row 3. It can't be in column 2. There's 2 diamonds in column 2. Now, if it's in a box with 2 diamonds, does that make things impossible? If it was, say, there, this box has 2 diamonds in it. But that one, if it was there, that one wouldn't actually see the 8 at all. If it was there, both of these would have to be 9. So that would be the circled 1. Oh, what? No. Hang on. That doesn't work at all. Oh, hang on. No, I'm not thinking about this properly. There's a problem. Isn't there? Hang on. Okay, I don't know how to articulate this cleanly yet, but I do know that is not an 8. And the reason is, if this is an 8, this box has 8 shaded cells in it, which means so it's really hard to explain this, but I don't know if it's, I don't know how, if this is 8, that one sees 1 in its row, and actually so does this one. So let's just say this was circle 1. The point is that this circle 1 has already got all its shadedness from its row because of the radial coming out of box 9. So it must see nothing shaded there, and yet if this is circled 8, there's 8 circled digits, 8 shaded digits in this box. This is somehow important. This is somehow important because it means that where you I think what it means is that the shaded 8, the circle, oh, this is so difficult to describe, the circled 8, wherever you put that, wherever you put the circled 8, it can't be, it can't even share a box with the diamond it sees. I don't think. Because imagine, on the other hand, this was... Yeah, it's very different. If that's circled 8, ignore this one. I just want to look at this diamond. So if this is circled 8, then this would be a 9. And this would have to see circled 1 in its row. But because this 8 and the shading in this box doesn't impact what the circled 1 would see in this box, everything is fine and the world works. But the moment that we put, if this is circled 8 on the other hand, it bumps into this, that goes off to find a 1 over here. But this 1 over here would see shaded cells in this box precipitated by the circled 8 in this box, and that doesn't work. So somehow the circled 8 is somewhere else. I don't know what this means. The circled 8 has to see... I don't quite see. Well, hang on. All right, I'm going to change tack again. Okay, no, I'm seriously changing tack. How do you put circled 8 into any of this? What I'm about to say might well be wrong. But the problem I've got now is not so much with the diamond that the circled 8 would see, and that having to be a 9. The problem is with the shading of the 1s and the 2s. So what I was thinking, and you might tell me I'm talking rubbish here. I don't think I am talking rubbish. If this was circled 8, if that is circled 8, then circled 1 and circled 2 now occupy these cells. And we know that circled 1 is going to have to be in the sort of diagonally opposite one, in order that whatever diamond this sees isn't more than 9. But that means circled 2 is here or here. Well, that can't be right. It can't be right. Because circle 2, in its row, let's imagine this was circle 2. That means there are 2 shaded cells in this row. Well, it's definitely seeing a radial from box 9. That's 1 shaded cell. So it can see 1 shaded cell from the circled 8 box. But however you shade 8 of those 9 cells, you'll always put at least 2 shaded cells in every single row of this box. So shaded 2 is impossible because it's going to pick up a radial from the 9 and it's going to pick up at least 2 from the shaded 8 box. So I now think, let's just check that's generalized. I think it feels right, doesn't it? I mean, if we were to, for example, shift the shaded 8 to here, I'm going to claim shaded 1 has to be here, and I think that is logical. And then shaded 2 is in one of these, but again, both of these see the shaded 8 box, so they're picking up at least 2 shaded cells from that and the 9 radial. It doesn't work. So shaded 8, I am now going to allege, is in one of 4 other boxes. So shaded 8 is either, well, I think it's got to be it's got to be. See, I've got to be very careful here, because I don't want to. This might not be right, but the principle of it is correct. So I'm gonna label all the possible positions for shaded 8, ignoring because this might be here, in which case, though, obviously these couldn't be shaded 8 because they would share a column with another shaded cell. There's only one in each column. So shaded 8 can be in this box anywhere, I think. It's just a distressing thought. And in that box it can be there. Remember, shaded 8 can't be in a column or row with 2 diamonds, because if shaded 8 was there, that would be, in fact it would be definitely broken, because that couldn't see shaded 1 at all. But okay, let's find another example. If shaded 8 was... I can't even see a good example. If shaded 8 was... I mean, there are no good examples, but you definitely can't put shaded 8 in a row with 2 diamonds. One of those diamonds could, in theory, see shaded 1, or circled 1. No, I've said shaded and I meant circled. You can't put circled 8 into a row or column with 2 diamonds, because one of those diamonds will be a 9 and the other will be broken. It will be bigger than Sudoku could cater for. So shaded 8 is now in one of 4 boxes, and it's slightly restricted in 3 of the boxes. It's not very restricted in box 8. And I don't know what to do with that. So wherever shaded 8 is, wherever circled 8 is, the diamond it sees, and it will only see 1. The diamond... Oh no, well, that's not even true either. That's not even true. It could see 2. If that was circled 8, it would see 2 diamonds, 1 in its row, 1 in its column. But that's okay if that is circled 1, because then both of these would be 9. So yeah, but it can still only see 1 in a row or a column. And wherever it goes, I don't know. It's doing something to shade. It's doing something to circled 1, obviously. But I think it looks to me like it could go like in a lot of places quite legitimately. Oh dear, I don't... Oh dear. I mean, how are you meant... This is so complicated. I realise, sorry, I know this is a bad habit I've got. When I get completely stuck, I just stop speaking because I don't know what to do. I don't know how to think about it. And I presume that there is... No, I'm not going to say something obvious. There is nothing obvious about it, but I presume there is something relatively logical I could say at this point that would allow me to make some sort of progress. But I don't think I know what it is. It's got to be something to do with... I don't understand. Shaded 8. So shaded 8, it doesn't have a bar of shaded 1. But then shaded 1. So shaded 8 is going to have to see. I think that's going to do something to shade circle 2. But I can't quite see it. I can't quite see it in my brain. I'm tempted to sort of paint it in to see if that, just to see how it interacts, because I think there is an interaction. If let's just think this through slowly and see if we can do this. If that is circled 8, then that sees one diamond here. Now this diamond, yeah, that's quite interesting. Yeah, okay, so this diamond would be a 9, and it would see circled 1. Interestingly, the circled 1 it would see could not be in its own box. Maybe that's obvious to everybody, but it wasn't obvious to me. And the reason it couldn't, for example, if this was circled 8, let me just make it circled 8, just to show you what I mean. If this was circled 1 to make this the 9 it needs to be, this 1 would be wrong. And the reason it would be wrong is that in its row, it will see at least 2 shaded cells from this 8. And so it's a bit the similar point to what we were doing before when we were saying if we put 8 up here, it would cause the 1 to have to be diagonally opposite. It's the same point. We have to shift into a different set of rows or columns from wherever we put the shaded 8, the circled 8. I've got that wrong so many times. But what that's going to mean, if you sort of think it through, if this is 9, circled 1 is now up here. And wherever that circled 1 is, lots of things sort of happen as a result of that, don't they? Circled 1 in its column is finished because it's got this shaded cell. And to say this was circled 1, in its row it's finished. And that means in the 8's column, everything will be shaded apart from the sort of radial of unshadedness emanating from the circled 1 wherever that lives. It's all quite straightforward. Now, what does that mean? Is the next question. If it means anything at all. I haven't got it yet. If it does mean something, I don't know what it is. I can see that I can see it would be difficult but not impossible, I think, to place circle 2 in this situation. I suppose if you do put the 8 here, then actually circle 2 would be there. But I think that's okay. The problem is that I could see how this becomes iterative. Like circle 1 and circle 2 are really it's almost like they have to contribute to as many diamonds as possible in order to keep every diamond down to a value that's no more than 9. You're going to have to put the circled 1s and circled 2s somewhere relatively useful in terms of how many diamonds they see, because once you've run out of 1s and 2s that are aligned with diamonds, let's say you had a diamond that didn't see, so I'm trying not to sneeze now, that didn't see 1s or circled 1s or circled 2s, then in its row and column it would see at least circled 3 and circled 4, so it would be at least 7. This is very confusing. So the 8. So wherever the 8 is, I mean, I've now realised this. You've already realised this already, but I've only just realised that if, for example, this is an 8, all 3 of those are shaded. That is true, and generally true. And the reason for that is because we know that the circled 1, seen by the diamond that sees the circled 8, won't be in the same 3 rows as the circled 8, so it'll be up here somewhere. So in our example, it'll be in one of these 3 cells. That circled 1 has already got its shadedness from this radial coming out of the 9. So if this was circle 1, for example, this would be unshaded because there's going to be a whole row of unshadedness. And therefore in the column with the 8, all 3 of those are shaded. So wherever the 2 would be, if the circled 8 was here, circled 1 would be here. This would have circle 2 in it. Circle 2 would be completed by this box, and you'd have to be very careful about where you put circle 2 in here, because it would have to be in the row. It would have to be there, or oh good grief, hang on, this is so confusing. This is so confusing. I'm now not sure it works, because I'm not sure. I'm just not sure, and I think I'm wrong as well with what I was about to say. Wow. Wow, it's seriously difficult. Yeah, so what I've now visualized is if this is circled 8, circle 2 is definitely in this box. Circled 1 is in this box. Circle 2 is in this box. And there's all sorts of structures being built, but then circle 2 in this box wouldn't be in the same row. And it's the shading of this box that's worrying me. So let's say that was circle 2. That would need to see, in terms of shadedness, this would be shaded. this would be shaded, this would be shaded. So that would be the exact shading of this box. It would have to be. It would have to be. And then you'd have to be careful about where you put the 2 shaded cells that have to come into box 5. But I think you could be careful just by putting them over there, for example, where they wouldn't see the circled 2. And then circled... Oh, hang on, now I'm getting into a pickle with circled 1. Oh, maybe that's always the point. Oh, it's so difficult to visualize. Yeah, there's some sort of picklage that's a problem with circled 1, I think. Wow, how does that work? Because circled 1... Ah, I've got it. Oh, it's really simple. I mean, it's really simple. It's not really simple. It's not really simple, but I have got it. This is definitely wrong. How on earth do I explain this? Right. Okay. I know many of you have got this already, but you have to forgive me. I'm trying to do this, and I'm probably doing an absolute, making a dog's breakfast of it, but it is complicated. Okay, how to explain? What I've realised is this. I don't know that I can put 8 anywhere, though, on my... I'm now worried I've disproved 8 going anywhere in the puzzle. I know it. I know for sure it's not here, or there, or there, or there. And let me explain why I know that now. And it's not actually to do... Well, it is sort of. It is sort of. Okay. The reason there's a problem I might have to sketch this in to show you, but it's the effect of the circled 1 on its column. So let's imagine we're in this world. We make this the 9, and this 9 is going to be the sum of the circled digits it sees. So it sees 8, and it's going to see a 1 vertically. Let's just put the 1 there, because it doesn't matter where it goes. It's a generalized point. You can see this 1 is complete as regards its column. It's got its shaded cells, so everything in the column is unshaded. But what does that mean for row 5? I mean, it's that simple. Row 5 is now a big problem. Because we know if this is circled 1, circled 2 is in this box, because this was circled 1 or circled 2. So this needs to be circled 2, which means there's exactly 2 shaded cells in the box. But in this row, everything is shaded now to get to 8. So this can't be shaded 2, or shaded 1 for that matter. It can't be. And it's that straightforward. So what that means is what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, it definitely means it means they aren't shaded 8. Of that I'm absolutely convinced. So I'm going to get rid of those. How would it change? This one's confusing me because I've got a diamond so close to it. That diamond would have to be a 9. It would have to see circled 1. it would have to see circled 1 up here. So this would be circled 2. Circled. See, that might work bizarrely. It is a bit different actually. There might be another reason that doesn't work, but I can't immediately see why that's a problem. Now, on the other hand, I think we can get rid of circled 8 from all of these cells because they are exactly sort of symmetrically, logically with these ones. Those see diamonds that are over there that are going to force 1s into these cells. These 1s are going to cause unshadedness into one of these rows, which is going to make everything through box 5 shaded upwards from wherever these 8s go, or wherever these 8s go, and that's a terrible thing because the 2 couldn't be fulfilled. So these are definitely not 8s. So we've got the 8s down a little bit. I think we'll do better, but I don't know how. Okay. Deep breath. Come on, think. Use your brain. You've only had an hour. It's not. This is probably a fifth of the way into the video. And actually, I haven't had an hour because I reckon the first 20 minutes was me trying to find a wasp. Okay. Oh dear. It's to do with there's some way of holistically seeing these 1s and 2s and where they have to go, and I'm not sure how to think about it, if I'm honest. Okay, maybe there is a similar logic to this that I can't quite. The reason I think this might work, just to be clear about that, is that this cell here then has to see circled 1 above it. Let's just put that in. I think it is different. And the reason I think it's different is now obviously all of these are unshaded in the column of the circled 1, which is going to make all of these shaded in the row of the 8. But now, circle 2, let's just shade those in to show you what I mean. Unshade these to make that clearer. Circled 2 is now confined to these cells. Now, yeah, so, I mean, it's really complex. These are definitely unshaded. All of these are unshaded. All of these get shaded. So the circle 2 is going to see. I mean, no, that you can't do this. This is so hard to see. It's so. I mean, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. But there's no way you could see this. I've got the most beautiful. No, actually, I'm not even sure it's correct. Ah, no, hang on. Hang on. Yeah, okay. No, it might not be correct. So now how does this work? So once you're in this position, if you ever do arrive in this position, what I'm mulling over is the fact whichever one of these is circled 2 is definitely complete in its column, from the radial from the 9 and the radial from the 8. So if this was circled 2, all of this would be unshaded. And because it's going to pick up a second shaded cell from the 8 box. So if that was circle 2, all of this would be unshaded. We know that would be unshaded. And therefore the shaded cell in the 1 box is going to be in one of these two. Which means down here there might be a restriction in terms of how big the circled cell could be in this box. But is that okay? Or am I looking at this and you're all saying, Simon, you're a muppet. It's clearly wrong. It doesn't work. And if I am a muppet, why am I a muppet? Is it to do with whether you can write 9 into a diamond? Is it the number of diamonds that could avail themselves of 1s and 2s? Is it what you'd have to put as a circle digit in box 3? I don't think it's that. Although that is almost an interesting point. You would have to have a shaded cell, and you would indeed have a shaded cell in row 2, column 9, because the 11 couldn't be made up of only 1 shaded cell. And wherever the 2 was, there would be an unshaded. All of box 4 in its row would be unshaded. It's not going to be something mad like you can't put shaded 7 or circled 7 into the grid. I mean, it could be something insane like that. I mean, well, okay. That's a bizarre point. Well, I mean, there is a real problem, actually. If I think, I mean, I've not given this any attention at all, but there is a reason this doesn't work, and it's not really to do with the sorts of logic I've been thinking about, but it's to do with cage logic. Good grief. So as a general point, this doesn't work. But it's even harder to see. Okay, so I can rule out this specific case and this specific case of 8. And the reason these don't work, in fact, you can take your choice about this. I'll explain it, and then I'll explain why it's generalized. There's 2 reasons this is a problem. The first is, and maybe this is something I just haven't thought about at all, but if we think about the nature of this 12 cage and this 10 cage and how many shaded cells they have to contain, the 12 cage has to contain 2 shaded cells at least. The 10 cage has to contain 2 shaded cells at least. And that breaks this world. You can see, I mean, if those 2 are shaded, I can't put the shaded 2, circled 2 here anyway, because it's going to have 3 shadeds in its column. And once these 2 are shaded, it's become an even bigger problem. So perhaps what we have to do, I mean, this is horrendous, but perhaps what we have to do is to think harder about that sort of thing as well. So we can step back now, because we have now understood, I think, neither of these could be 8. It would put a circled 1 up here. It would put a circled 2 in here. And the circled 2 would break for the reasons that we've talked about, which is to do with the need for there to be shadedness in these cells, because there wouldn't be anything shaded in these cells because of the circled 1. being completed by the radial from the 9, and that's a general point. I mean, I presume it'll work the same way here, he says. But let's think that through. And it might not, actually. No, actually, it really might not, might it? Because then... Oh, good grief, it really might not. Because an 8 here will bash into this and send the circle 1 scurrying off in this direction. And that's going to make this digit unshaded. And this digit unshaded, for that matter. Now but this is an 8 cage, so it doesn't have to have 2 shaded digits in it. So then there's going to be... How is that going to work? How is that going to work? So the 8 is going to shade these 2 cells. And indeed all of those cells as well, which is sort of interesting. So the 12, actually the 8 being down here, looks a lot better to me. It looks like that could almost be right. It looks like it's sort of shading the right sorts of cells in the puzzle. Now I'm starting to think about actual, making sure cages have the requisite number of shaded cells in them. Okay. And the 2, the circle 2 in box 5 is the one that I want to think through. That's certainly going to cause another unshaded cell in the 8 cage in box 4. So the other one will have to be a shaded cell, and it would have to be an 8. I mean, that's such a bizarre deduction. Honestly, it's so bizarre. But I think that might be fine. Because then the circled 1... Oh gosh, there's another thought I've just had. That's it. Oh, it's obvious. Oh, you rotten puzzle. You are a very clever person, IcyFruit, and you're so much cleverer than me, it's embarrassing. Oh, dear, dear, dear. This is so embarrassing. And you've all been shouting at me for ages about it, and I'm so embarrassed. I don't want to turn this off. It's been an hour. And I should have put this together, and I didn't, because I am a fool. And the logic is beautiful. Of course it would be. It's IcyFruit. It's going to be beautiful logic. It's not going to require... Oh, dear, dear, dear. Right. Okay. Here is the beautiful point. If you put 8 down here, we've already said that 1 will be over here, and 1 is going to cause these to be unshaded, which means these 2 are shaded. But I know the value of those in this particular box. They have to be a 1-2 pair because there are 2 shadeds, and therefore one of them is circled, and I've got 2 circles in the column. Oh goodness, it's that simple. So we could never have had 8 here or here. So okay, so now I've got 8 down to either box 3 or box 7. Now What does that mean? I don't know. It might mean something. Oh, do you know what? This is weird. This is wonderful. Yeah, this is wonderful. So look at because of this sort of Stonehenge creation that I've drawn in the grid for where 8 could not go because it would be in a double diamonded row or column. Oh, that reminds me of when I was young. My uncle used to have this music box, and it used to play a double diamond works wonders, works wonders, works wonders. A double diamond works wonders for all, or something. And I can't remember what it was. Double diamond a drink back in the day. Anyway, that has distracted me completely. Yeah, but because I've got the Stonehenge thing, doing double diamond duty and saying, okay, 8s can't go in there. Look at the diamonds now that are hit by these 8s. So what we're saying is if 8 is in this column, which is totally possible, it's hitting this diamond. If 8 is in this column, it's hitting this diamond. If 8 is in this row, it's hitting this diamond. And we know that diamond in the other direction is going to hit the circled 1. So where's the circled 1? It's got to be in this box. It has to be. Just to remind, what we can't do, for example, if this is circled 8, you can't put the circled 1 in here, because the circled 1 is only meant to see one shaded cell. And in this box, if we have circled 8, we're going to have lots and lots of shadeds, such that this would definitely see 2 shadeds at least, and probably 3 in its column. So you're not putting, if this is 8, the 1 is not there. It has to be in a different box. We've understood that. So because the radials throw the 1 into this box, the 1 is it's in one of those cells. Typical. So the only what? Firstly, this has got circle 1 in it. It does not have circle 2 in it. So we can do that. That is totally legitimate. Right, which means I can take circle 1 out of all of these. I mean, this is definitely interesting. And now, yeah, the possible positions for circle 1 are going to be those sharing a row with a diamond. So these are possible positions. And that is a possible position. If the 8's here. So that's, and now we know that this box has 1 shaded cell in it, and it's a shaded 3. Okay, I don't know what that means. And I know one of these is definitely a 9. Who was it? Someone said it's like we're learning another language. It is, the way these thingies interact. I mean, how clever do you have to be to come up with this? Answer, prodigiously. I'll tell you the other thing I've got to remember is that this 9 is not necessarily here. I mean, it has helped me, though, to visualise what's going on by having these radials sticking out of box 9. Okay. So, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Oh dear, Simon, come on, use your brain. So it's actually quite difficult now for circle 2 to be in this box, because it would only have 2 shaded digits in the box, and they would have to be in the 12 gauge in order for the 12 gauge to be completable. might be okay. It might be okay. I'm not sure. It's sort of, it's certainly a little bit questionable whether that works. So if this was 9, could it be? It could be shaded, couldn't it? It could be shaded. There's no reason to think it's not shaded. I almost wonder whether what you're meant to do is to, like this box, box 8, there must be at least 2 shadeds in there, in that 10 cage. And there's definitely 3 shadeds from the radial from the 9, either there or there. So this box's minimum total is 5 for its circle. We've got 1 in there. I'd love to know where the 1 was, because let's say the 1 was in the middle. It's going to put, because this radial is completed, it's going to make all of those and then all of these unshaded. So if the 1 is in the middle, and you can see wherever that goes, it does profound things to the to the 2 possibilities, because wherever the 8 is, the 8 is filling up a lot of, yeah, I mean, that's quite interesting actually. I'm now thinking that it's impossible for box 1 to be the 2. I mean, this is so hard to explain, but I think I'm right. My logic for this is the following. Wherever I put the 1, and I've got 7 different cells for it, it is going to, because of the radials coming out of the 9 box, wherever I put the 1, let's put it here for just a change, it's going to have this pattern of unshadeds flowing from it. Yeah? Now, that means that the 8, wherever that is in the circled 8, wherever that is, it's seeing an unshaded cell in its row or column, wherever it is. And what's going to happen is that in that row or column, everything else will be shaded. And that's going to throw a 3-cell sequence of shadedness into box 1, always. So there is simply no way in this puzzle that 2 is in that box. It just doesn't work. So we're getting really close now to knowing where circle 2 is. And circle 2 is in a box adjacent to circled 1. Wherever it is. And if circle 2 was here, then we would be in business, wouldn't we? So let's think about that again. So if circled 1 is in the middle of the puzzle, let's just mull it over and see if we can spot anything else that would result from that. It's not very easy to do, is it? Because we don't know where circled 8 is. It's got there's sort of 3 units of Sudoku it could be in. Row 2, column 1, column 3. And each of those will force a lot of shadednesses. Shadednesses being the technical term. Oh. Yeah, that's quite another point that's emerging as I look at that now, is I'm realizing that wherever I put the circled 1, So the 10 cage in box 8 will always have one unshaded cell in it, thrown off by the radial unshaded from the circled one in box 5. These are sentences. Only a mother could love these sentences that I'm spewing here. Oh dear. Okay. What does that mean? Don't know. Is it something I don't know, is it to do with where circle 7 goes? I mean, actually, it could be, couldn't it? It could be, because circle 7 is going to be in a row or column with diamonds in it, and circle 7 is going to need to see 1 or 2. I hadn't thought about this. Because obviously if circle 7 was there... No, that's a bad example. I want to put it somewhere where... Say circle 7 was... I don't know, it's hard to do this, but if circle 7 sees a diamond and that diamond doesn't see circled 1 or 2, it's impossible, because that would then be at least seeing circled 3 along with circled 7, which makes the diamond too big. So somehow we've got to fit circled 7 into the whole paradigm here. That is a truth. That is a truth. I'm not sure if it's a particularly brilliant truth, but it is a truth. So, I don't know. I don't know what that means. I wish I did. I mean, it couldn't be that, could it? Oh, that's a horrendous thought. 5. Oh, I can't. It's too complicated. It's just so complicated to keep track of this. It really is. 5. One of those would have to see... Okay, I've got this is. I think this is a bad thought, but I'm just going to explore it for a moment. What I was wondering is if circled 8 was here, whether I have a problem with these 2 diamonds. And I'm not sure it is the short answer. I'm not sure. There is a point here, isn't there? Hang on. Maybe we don't have to go that far. Wherever the 1 radial is, so in this instance it's here, it's forcing an 8 here to effectively, have to have all of those as shaded, isn't it? Whichever one of these was 8 would cause a complete shading. And then then you're in a bit of a pickle. Are you in a bit of a pickle, or maybe you're not? I'm not so sure now. It's so difficult to work out what's going on. Honestly, it really is. I think you are in a pickle. I don't see how you can quite do it, but it's very, very... Oh, but maybe actually if the 2 was thrown down there, maybe it then does work. But then... I mean, this is nuts. Right, this is... Maybe I can combine my two ideas then. I'm very unsure about this. I might be able to disprove 8 up here, which would be an advance, because then I would know where 8 was in the puzzle, which would be a tremendous boon for me. Yeah, I mean, that would be an exciting deduction, wouldn't it? I think. Possibly. How do I explain what I think I could see there? What I was wondering about was this: if 8 is here, then because the radial from the 1, wherever that goes, it's completing, it's giving rise to the only unshaded cell in this one's row. So it's a bit like what we were looking at earlier. We're going to be in this position. And then, I mean, maybe this is okay. I'm not so sure though. Sorry, I know I've stopped talking again, but there's something that's troubling me about this regarding the 2 in box 2. Wherever it is, it's obviously complete. Wherever it is, it's complete. It's so difficult to visualize. I mean, if there was a 2 in this box, it's obviously complete, so we'd have to do this situation from a shading perspective. What we haven't worked out is where the circle would go. But wherever the circle goes, it's completed by box 3's shading, which is going to have to provide 2 horizontal shaded cells to it. And that's going to put a stripe through. That doesn't work. That's it. I mean, that's so difficult to see. But it's not once I'm able to see it. I mean, that's really hard. Okay, but it doesn't actually help me, I don't think. I've spotted why this doesn't work. So so we're getting into sort of nested if statements now, which is not a good place to be. But I now believe that if the 8 is in box 3, I can prove the 2 isn't in box 2. And the reason I'm going to claim that that is the case is to do with the 10 cage in box 8 again. So, let me, I mean, maybe I'll leave this in just to explain the point, but it's generalizable, I think. There will be, the point is this, and this gets a bit deep. If the 8 is here, and the 2 is in this box, then because the radial from the 1, wherever that goes, is throwing up unshadedness in its column, I've presumed it's here. So it's causing unshadedness here. The 8 will be completed by 2 horizontal shadings through this box. So in my example, they're in these positions. They could be anywhere. I mean, actually, they would have to be there to make the 12 cage possible, but that's not the point. The point is that now if there is a 2 anywhere in this box, it can't be in the same column as the circled 1. So it's going to be in a column with it's either going to be there, there, or there in this example. But you can see it's complete. And the point of that is that if it's complete, it's going to cause an unshaded here or here, as well as the unshaded radial from box 5 in the circle 1 column. And that's going to put 2 unshadeds in the 10 cage and break the world. So we're now very close. So now, so what we now know is, we know this is true if the 8 is here, but we also know there would be a 2 over there. And I'm wondering whether that gives us an issue with these 2 diamonds. It might not do. But I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I'm really not sure. It's possible one of these diamonds is unshaded, but it's not possible both of them are unshaded. So the circle that would exist in one of these cells would be at least a 5. And it's only able to even stay as low as 5 if all 3 of those are unshaded and this 8 is completed by complete shading here. The 8 would have to be there in this example, but I mean the 8 and the 9 are interchangeable, but only one cell in this box is unshaded. So if I'm as generous as I can be, I'd put that in here to allow this to be the smallest circle it could be, which I think would be 5. Now, that is broken, isn't it? I mean, it's so hard to see this, but it is broken. It is broken for the following reason. I've proved that in this example, the circled 2 is over here, the circled 1 is in here. Now, these 2 diamonds are picking up at least circled 5 from their column, and at least circled 3 and 4 from their rows. So what are these digits? Well, they have to be an 8-9 pair, and they can't be because the 8's in one of those. So this is wrong. And that's going to give us a little bit of extra deduction, because now what we're able to say, without fear of contradiction, is the following. I'm now going to claim, these are not 8. I've disproved 8 in this box, which means 8 is in this box. And that means this is not a 1. Because the 1 can't be throwing down the radial here. The circled 1 is horizontal to this or this. Now, and that's, I don't know. And this is tentative. I've assumed there's a circle 1 in the middle. That circle 1 could be in any of these 6. But I still maintain it is a useful thing. Yeah, it is a useful thing. Or is it? Oh! No. No. Okay, careful, Simon. Careful. Okay. So, actually, what do I now know? Do I know... I'm so sorry. I know everybody here knows it. I know you all know what I'm meant to do next. Oh dear. Why will my brain not process this more quickly? It's something. Come on. So I now got a circled 8 in box 7 that's going to have... So box 7 has a lot of shadedness in it. Oh, I've got something. Oh, thank goodness for that. I've got something. I've got something I think is true. This is... Oh, this could be a big deduction. Maybe. Okay, here is my thought. Oh no, it might be wrong. Oh dear, 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 no, it's wrong. My thought is stupid. It's a stupid thought. I think it's a stupid thought. Anyway, I'm not sure now. No, I'm not happy with it. I'd refuse to articulate it now. I was trying to think about this 10 cage. I mean, obviously this green cell is floating. It could be there, there, or there. But the other two cells in there are definitely shaded. So I know this row. I know this row contains 7. No. This row has got 2 shadeds here. Definitely. In this, I mean, it's definitely got 2 of these 3 are shaded. 3 of these 3 are shaded. The 8, wherever it goes, is going to cause 2 more shadeds in the row, at least, possibly 3. So, if the circled 8 is in one of those 2 cells, then all 3 of these and those 2 are shaded. And then 2 of these would be shaded. And this would have a circle that would be at least a 5. If I don't know, this is very, very difficult to work out. I think it is anyway. I think it's quite difficult to work out. I sort of want to shade those in to keep reminding me of those being shaded, but that's probably going to get me into a world of trouble. I mean, okay, the interesting thing that I think is true, and this is what I thought I'd spotted before, is if the 8 is in any other position other than in this row, then because at least 2, say the 8 was here and circled, because at least 2 of these are shaded and these 2 are shaded, and there has to now be a circle in here recording how many shadeds there are in its row, this would have to be circled 7 in one of those positions, which is quite interesting. Probably. Now also, wherever the circled 8 goes down here, we know there's going to be a vertical stripe of complete shadedness going through box 1 in one of those 2 stripes, isn't there? That's also going to be a forced thing that we're going to have to be cognizant of. And that would mean that if circle 2 was in box 2, it would be completed by that. And that is okay. No, that is okay. I suddenly thought, no, maybe it's not, but I think it's all right. Am I not running into the same issue with circle 2 and box 8 that I was before, though? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe that's a better question then. Maybe that's a question we should give some attention to. Is it ever possible for circle 2 to be in box 2? Because it is generally true to say wherever the 1 is, whichever one of these is a 1, it's throwing a radial up through box 2, which is unshaded, entirely unshaded. Here I've got it in column 5, but it could be here, it could be here, we don't know. Now, the other thing about the radial coming from box 5 is it's going downwards and it's taking one of the positions of the 10, which means that the other 2 positions of the 10 cage are both shaded, and they are going to share. That means there are 2 shaded cells here, 2 shaded cells here, and they are going to be in a column that is where the circled 2 is, because the circled 2 can never be in the same column as the circled 1. So in our example, the circled 2 would be in one of those, but these are all shaded. So the circled 2 is completed from a column perspective by box 8. And that feels tricky, but it might not be impossible, you know. And circle 2, wherever it goes, so there's going to be one. It's so difficult to keep track of. Circled 2, wherever it goes. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. This is going to be... I am so conscious of the fact that everybody understands this except me. Oh. It's just crazy indexing. The shading possibilities are so... I don't want to make a logical error. But how? How do we do this? If I've got nothing. I've got nothing. Circled. Oh, no, that's a silly thought, Simon. Don't have silly thoughts. That's very bad to have silly thoughts. Wow. Here's a tiny point, which I don't think it matters, but circled 8 here, wherever it goes, is going to cause one of those to be circled 9. That's true. So there is a no, we're not circled 9. One of these diamonds to be 9. Circled 8 causes one of these to be 9. And they are going to see in their row circled 1. So we've imagined it's this one, haven't we, by drawing in the 1 into this cell. But it could have been this one, and then the 1 would have been in one of these. And the 8 would be in one of these. And if it had have been here... Yeah, so wherever... So this 8 cage is never going to have 3 shaded cells in it. That is a truth. Now, it might be, it's possible I'm not approaching this correctly at all, and what I'm meant to do is to think about the sort of Stonehenge structure, and to think about trying to allocate low digits into as many of those sort of radial spokes as you can, in order to make sure that I never breach a 9 total. Yeah, I mean, it is a little interest. Yeah, it's not. No, it's not really. But imagine there's no 2 in those cells. If none of those was a circle 2, then I've got 3 radials here, or 3 diamonds on radials that see neither 1, 2, or 3. No, 1 or 2. So they'd have to see 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s. They couldn't see 7s, could they? Is that the question I meant to ask then? Maybe it is 7. Where is circled 7? And circled 7 has to be somewhere where... Yeah, but if circled 7 was, say, up here, and it saw that diamond which saw circled 1, that could be an 8, and that would be fine. That would be fine. There's, in that, my example, one of these is shaded. Yeah, and there's a okay, so there's a shaded 3 in this box. That seems to be true, doesn't it? Now, how is that useful? How is that useful? I don't know. It's so difficult to know how to proceed. Shaded 3. Circled 8. I suppose this... I know, but I know... Maybe... Okay, it must be this box, mustn't it? I have learned, and it's taken me a long time to learn it, that circled 8 is in this box. And therefore, an awful lot of shading is going to be thrown out by that. An awful lot of shading. If either of those is 8, all of those get shaded. In fact, let's imagine that's circled 8. If that's circled 8, all of these get shaded. That's forced. All of these get shaded. That's forced. One more shading down here. That's forced. Can circle 2 be in box 4? Actually, no, not in that particular example, because we need a shaded cell in the 8 cage, and I wouldn't have one. So that would not be shaded 2. Shaded 2 would be in the other box. It would be in the 12 cage. It would be in box 2 with the 12 cage having 2 shadeds in it. But how would we do that? That feels like it won't work, because I'm going to have... that doesn't work at all, actually. Oh, is that a general... See, there's something here that's generalizable, and it's... I'm not... no, and now I'm not sure. wherever you put circle 2 in box 2, it has to not be in the same column as the 2 shadeds that are in box 2. That seems to be very realist. So you'd actually have to put those 2 shadeds into row 2 column 6 and row 3 column 6, and you'd have to put the shaded 3 into column 6 as well in this example. And you could do all that, I think. I think you could do all that. And what it would mean, I have not got a Scooby-Doo. I'd have to be very careful as well regarding the circle 2. It doesn't work. It doesn't. It's impossible to explain why, but it doesn't. Or at least it doesn't in that particular case. It doesn't in that particular case. Yeah, I mean this... I don't know how to explain this. I actually think there is a generalizable argument that 2 is not circled in this box. Let me have a go. Let me have a go at making that argument. I think I can have a go at it. Here is my argument for why 2 is not circled in this box. I know that wherever the 8 goes in box 7, it is throwing up a vertical radial, either there or there, of shadedness. And therefore we can, I think, agree that wherever the 2 is in box 2, it is horizontally complete. Because it will see this radial coming from the 9, wherever the 9 is in there, it'll see that radial, and it'll see the radial coming from the 8. So the 2 is horizontally complete. Now, we also know, of course, that we need 2 cells in this 12 cage, at least, to be shaded. And if the 2 is in here, we therefore know that it's 2 of those 4. I mean, in my example, it couldn't be this one, but 2 of these 4 have to be shaded. Now, wherever the 2 goes in this box, it is not in the same column as the circled 1 in box 5. So in my example, it's got to be in one of those 5 cells. And obviously the 1 could be here, in which case the 2 would be the circle 2 in one of those cells. It can't be in a diamond. But the point I think we have to bear in mind is that wherever the circle 2 is, it is also completed in its column by the 2 cells that are going to have to be shaded in the 10 cage in box 8, combined with the radial from the 9 wherever that lives in box 9. So the 2, wherever it goes, is complete so far as its row is concerned and its column is concerned. Now, what that means is that we must position that 2 in this box somewhere where it doesn't impinge upon our ability to have 2 shaded cells in here. So if we put it there, for example, that cannot be correct, because we know these and all these are unshaded. The same is going to be true there. Those would all be unshaded. The same is true here. These would be... is it the same true there, though? Because maybe those two could be shaded. So if the 2 was there, these would be unshaded. These would be unshaded. These would be unshaded. And maybe that's how you get away with it. Yeah, it's almost... Yeah, okay, so maybe I'm wrong then. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't want to be wrong. I desperately don't want to be wrong. But I don't think I can prove. I thought I could. I thought I saw an argument that I could make as to why 2 up here didn't work. Maybe if we sketch it in and make it more concrete. What we're saying is there. I mean, I'm actually going to imagine the 8's there because I'm pretty certain it can't be there for the reasons that we talked about before. So these would all be shaded. Yeah, I wonder if it is all about these cages and making sure they've got the right numbers in them, or the right number of shaded cells in them. I'm not sure. But okay, so now wherever we put the 2, it's fine and it's finished. If this was an 8, what are we saying then? We're saying these all get shaded, aren't we? That's something we are saying. That would be a truth. We're saying actually those would be shaded. That would be a truth. We'd need at least 2 shaded cells in the 13 cage, but we would have those. So that's not a problem. That is not a problem. I can't see it. I'm being so dumb. I know I am. Wherever you put the 2, it's complete so far as its column is concerned. And that's going to put another unshaded cell into box, whatever box that is, box 8. That's definitely true. Which means box 8's circle digit would have to be no bigger than 6. Which is probably okay. It's getting harder to place. No, I don't think it is that difficult to place circled 7. I don't think it is. I think it would be in box 1. In this example, 1, 3, or 6. And I wouldn't like to guess which one. No, I've not got it. I've not got it, have I? That's distressing. Okay. I'll leave these shaded in to remind me that these need to be shaded. Okay, I can't do that, so we're going to have to change tack. We're going to have to think of something else. Now, what on earth is that, I hear you ask? I don't know. I don't know. Is it going to be... I mean, is it circled 7? Is that what I'm meant to have understood, that there is a big restriction on that as well? It could well be. That's actually okay. Let's just experiment with that idea for a moment. Can you put circled 7 on Stonehenge? Another sentence I didn't think I'd be saying today. Now, at first blush, there are many places on Stonehenge where circled 7 definitely cannot go. Because if for example, let's look at row 3. If I put circled 7 here, these two cells definitely see circled 7, so they need to see circled 1 and circled 2 in order to be not greater than 9, and neither of them see circled 1, so we're definitely broken. So circled 7 is not on this radial. The same is true here for this radial. Neither of these diamonds see circled 1, so circled 7 cannot be here. Circled 7 cannot be here, because neither of them see circled 1. Now, can circled 7 be on this radial? No, it's still broken, actually, because although that does see, or could see, circled 1, if the circled 1 was down here, this one cannot see circled 2. Because the only place circled 2 could be would be in the same row as circled 7, if we put circled 7 on this radial. Circled 2 cannot be down here. So actually, right, so circled 7 is also restricted in the puzzle. It is not on Stonehenge. It is not on Stonehenge. Now, do we care? Circled 7 can never be in a box that contains 3 unshadeds, which box 2 will always contain. Box 4 will always contain from the radial coming out of the 1 in the middle box. So, okay, so the possible boxes that contain circled 7 are box 1 in one of those two positions, box 3 in one of those two positions. Box, whatever this box is, box 6 looks quite interesting, doesn't it? That does look interesting. And it might be possible if both of those were shaded for box 8 to be box 8 to be circled 7. So okay, so there aren't a whole plethora of options here. Okay. Now, how on earth do we work out which one of these has the wherewithal? Okay, if circled 7 is it something to do? I mean, if circled 7 is in box 6, then the radial coming out of the 1 and its interaction with the radial coming out of the 9 is going to put this sort of pattern into one of the rows. 2 unshaded and a shaded. So the rest of this box would have to be shaded. That seems to be a truth. Okay. I don't know if that matters. Okay, and then, yeah, and the circled, yeah, oh, that's interesting. So actually, that will force circled 2 to be up here, which is a mildly interesting point. And the reason for that is if circled 7 is in this box, then in box 5 there is only one one shaded cell. So if, say, that is circled 7, only one of these could be shaded. So in order for the circled 7 to be in this row, one of these would be shaded and all of these would be shaded. And that's going to mean circle 2 can't be in this box. So circle 2 would have to be in this box. And then I don't know what else that might mean. It might well mean other things as well, but it's very hard to know what. It would mean that 2 of these 3 would be shaded. The thing is, I don't think that's a problem, is it? Not sure. Not sure. Okay. So I don't know what to do with that. That's the short answer. That is the short answer, I'm afraid. Is there? No, I don't think there is. I wondered if there was an argument that No, there isn't. There isn't, Simon. Just don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. It's not going to help us to solve the puzzle. It really isn't. Okay, so how on earth do we make more progress? So if you knew 2 was here, then you'd know that wasn't circled 7. It'd be quite difficult, but not impossible, for that to be circled 7 as well. In fact, yeah, that's almost quite an interesting thought, isn't it? Whichever one of these has got circled 2 in it, it's not got much shadification in its box. So for circled 7 to be in there, although it's going to pick up a lot of shaded cells from this box, it's not going to pick up many from there or there, whichever one of those was the 2. So if this was shaded 7 couldn't be on Stonehenge, so it would be in one of those cells. Maybe that's it. Maybe these 2 are shaded, and that's what I'm meant to appreciate. Yeah, that's possible, isn't it? It's possible, but tricky. Oh dear, I don't know. I'm stuck again. Oh no. Okay. Let's label this. This has got to be 5, 6, 7 or 8. We know that this has got 5 shadeds in it. We know it's not 8 because we know 8's over here. So this is shaded 5, 6 or 7, which is okay. It's good to know. And is it impossible for this to be shaded 7? I'm just thinking about the interaction with the middle box. If shaded 7 was in there, then shaded 2 would be over there. I think that's just the same argument there. If shaded 7's over there, shaded 2's over here. Yeah, we can't really do anything with this 11 cage, because if the 9 was in there, for example, those 2 would be shaded, and this wouldn't need to be shaded. So, because you only need 2 shadeds at minimum in this 11 cage. You sort of dimly see how it might be possible to to make arguments that are useful here. If do we know, is that diamond under pressure? I mean, it's going to see. Oh, you are. Oh, this is not fair. I'm not doing battle with somebody who's on the same level as me. I'm like trying to challenge a. Oh dear. If you don't have the right thoughts at the right time, you'll never understand. It's so. Every time IcyFruit gets me. Every single time. Right. This thing. How could the 8 be? How could the circled 8 be in either of those, given that circle 1 is in here? It can't be, because then, if circled 8 is there or there, this needs to see circle 1 in the column, and it wouldn't. So circled 8 is not here. This is really important, I think, because I was looking at this before. Because now, yeah. This is really important, because now what we're saying is that circled 7, I think, is there. This row hasn't had a circle in it, and its circle is not there because circled 8 is in these cells, and its circle is not there because circled 9 is in these cells. So there's a circle in one of these, definitely. And this circle records the number of shaded cells in its row. And we know there are 3 there, 4, 5, and I know there are at least 2 there, because this whole box contains circled 8. So actually, this has got circled 7 in it. It must have, because it sees at least 7, and it can't be circled 8 because circled 8's already happened. So this is, I mean, I might as well delete that, I think. This is circled 7. And circled 7 is not that one. I mean, it might end up being that one, but it's what I mean is it's not in the same column as the circled 1, wherever we put that. So okay, so here's a weird point. So this 10 cage, the circled 7 is in the shaded cell of it, because the circled 1 forces an unshaded cell, which can't be circled, because it's in the same column as the circled 1. So the shaded 7 is in a dark cell where it adds up to 10 with a circled 3. I mean, this is totally and utterly nuts. I mean, in my example here, these can't be circled 8 because I've put the 9 here, so circled 8 would be in one of those. But now that... this is so... Right, now, where is, what's that number? It's 9, because it sees circled 7, and it doesn't see circled 1. But that means it must see circled 2, and that means none of these are 2, and it means none of these are 2. Circled 2 is now one of 3 places. Oh, this is so interesting. Okay. Well, circle 2. Circle 2. Circle 2. I don't know. Circle 2 is doing something. Circle 2. It's got... Well, I suppose that I'm going to take it out of that one because that's just confusing me because it's in a cell that's, yeah. What we should do I'm going to put 1 in there. Now this 1 is total nonsense. One is, you can see I've marked the possible positions of 1s. So I'm just trying to, without loss of generality, keep track of the approximate balancing of shading and unshadedness in each box, row and column. So hopefully you can forgive me for that. Now, yeah, here's a beautiful point. This box has 8 shaded cells in it. So in this column, it's got at least 2 shaded cells in it. And therefore, all of this is unshaded. Whichever, it doesn't matter which of these is shaded to. The whole of the rest of the column is unshaded. Oh, whoa. Oh yeah, okay, so look at this row now. Yeah, I mean this is slightly artificial because I've assumed the 9 is here. But obviously this is shaded 7 in one of these, so we can actually, you know, this is the pattern that would emerge here. We're going to get 6 shaded cells here. Whichever one of these is 8 and whichever one of these is 9. There's sort of a sort of weird X-wing type thing, but it's possible this green cell would flick upwards and could be in any of these cells, depending on where the circle 1 is in the middle. But the principle is there, isn't it? And now 2 of these. Yeah, okay, and here's another point that emerges from that then. Because the unshaded cell in the circled 8 row is in box 8, we've got this bank of unshadednesses, of shadednesses in box 7. Now that means that the 2 is going to be completed by this bank, because these are definitely both shaded, whatever the ordering is of the 8s and the 9s, and therefore this is always unshaded, otherwise there would be too many shadeds in the column with the circle 2, and therefore these are always shaded. And now now I don't know. Now I'm not sure again. But I'm getting quite excited that I think we've just really made a breakthrough there. I don't know quite what it does, but we're in better shape than we were. Now, how do we use this to our advantage? I mean, the circle 2 needs 2 shadeds, and they're going to be in the same. That's it. I've done it. Right. I now know, I don't know where the circled 8 goes, but I know where it doesn't go. I know 2 cells it doesn't go in, I think. If one of these was circled 8, then aren't we saying, because of the radial spur from the 1, wherever that goes, the other 2 cells in this column would be shaded, completing the circle 2 for its box, and forcing none of those to be shaded in the 8 cage. That cannot be true. It cannot be true. So the 8 cannot be here. The 8 is here, so I don't know where it is. It's in one of those 2. Which means this is 9. And in fact, okay, I've got to be careful now. It means that the circled 1 is in one of these 3. It could be here, it could be here, it could be here, but it is in one of those 3 now, definitely. In fact, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to reinforce that message so that I don't forget that there's this possibility. Okay, here's a weird point. I don't really know how to use it very well, but there's sort of an X-wing on 3s. There's a weird X-wing on 3s because the shaded cell in this box is a 3. And the shaded cell in this box, which will be, it'll sort of... So if this is a 3, that will be a 3, obviously. Because it can't be in the same paradigm as the circled 1. So in the circled 1's column, in box 2, there is going to be a 3. I mean, I don't dare fence mark it. It's so ludicrous, but it's true. Okay, this isn't a 9 anymore. And this 8 is complete. I mean, again, we're going to have to bear in mind that this... Oh, no, we don't now. We don't. Because the 1 is in one of those 3, it's always true to say that these are green. So it's always true to say to complete the 8 column, that's always going to be completely shaded. And now it's always true to say these are totally unshaded. And it's also, interestingly, quite true to say whichever one of these is 2, it's sort of complete, isn't it, vis-a-vis its row. So if that was a 2, all of these would be unshaded. There would be a shaded in one of those, which would be a shaded 3. Although, no, that's not true, because this might not be in the middle. And if it was there, then the shaded would be... so we've got to be careful. We've got to be careful. Okay, and there's a circle in one of these 3. Which is a thing. Might not be a valuable thing, but it's a thing. That circle, we know. Well, what have we got now? We've got circled 1. We've approximately got circled 2. We've got circled 7. We've got approximately circled 7, approximately circled 8, approximately circled 9. Yes, we should do this. So the circles we've not got are 3, 4, 5, and 6, and they go into this box, this box, this box, and this box. Okay, I don't know what that means, but that's a thing. Right. Now, come on, Simon. Use your brain. Use your brain. Yeah, that's an interesting point, actually. I think there's a point regarding the 12 cage, but this could be wrong. So I'm just give me a second here. If that's 7, 3, I'm not sure now. Sorry, I'm not sure. I thought I'd seen something that was remotely sensible, but now I fear I haven't. I can't do Sudoku, oh, maybe I can. I mean, I've not done any Sudoku at all at 2 hours 34 minutes into the video. Literally not a bean of Sudoku. That's the first Sudoku marking I've made. And I want to do that, but it's not valid because the 9 might be down here. Okay, I've got 8 here. Does that matter? I mean, these two are in the correct position. And I know one of those is a 2, and they have to add up to 8. So they are either 1, 7 or 3, 5. I mean, that's another Sudoku-y type deduction. And this diamond here, we know it's seeing a 2, and we know it's the other thing it's going to see in its row, we've said, is 3, 4, 5 or 6. So we know that's at least a 5. Okay. I don't know if we can do better than that, but I'm not sure. One of these is circled 7. If that was circled 7, what would that be? Oh, that could be very... Oh, please be right. Please be a sensible question. If that's circled 7, this diamond sees circled 7 and would have to see circle 1 or 2, and it doesn't. It just doesn't. So circled 7 is... Hang on. That might be wrong. Yeah, no, I've got to be very careful. Oh, no, right, I can generalise it. I can generalise it. Yeah, because, remember, this is very difficult. I don't know where the 1 is. The 1 could be here. The 1 could be here, or the 1 could be here. I am now going to tell you that the 1 is not here. Definitely not. Because if the 1 is here, the spur coming down, the unshaded spur, is here. Apart from the radial from the 9. So these would be unshaded, these would be shaded, these 2 would be shaded, one of which would be a 7. Now that 7 is going to fly up the grid, wherever it is, and see a diamond, and across from the diamond you couldn't see a 1 or a 2. So these couldn't be as low as 9. It would be impossible. So this cannot be. That one specifically cannot be circled 1. So circle 1 is now in one of these. And whichever one it's in, I know this isn't 7. And I know this isn't 7. Because either of these circled 7s see a diamond which is impossible. So I know that that's 7. I know one of these is 3, depending on which one of these is circled 1. But this is huge. This is huge for me, because now that is a 9. Because that doesn't see circled 1, but must see circled 2, which now must be in that position. So that is not circled 2. And now, I know that's unshaded. Well, actually, this is it. This is it. Circled 7, I need to see 7 circled cells in the column, so I need a circled cell in one of those 2 positions to get to be quorate. Now this, but I know the circled cell, sorry, the shaded cell in this box is a 3 because of the clue. So that is a 3, and it is shaded, and all of this, no, and that is unshaded. And now all of these are shaded, and that's making my 12 look a bit reasonable. In fact, that doesn't need to be shaded now if that's a 4-8 pair. And one of these is a 3. I'm going to put a 3 like that. That's definitely not 7. One of these is a 3. And it's not the circle. Definitely not. I'm very worried that this one in the middle is not correct, and it's going to shift over to here. And then that's going to shift these 2 over, and these green ones over there. That's not a 3 anymore. So that's not a 5. I mean, what a puzzle. What a puzzle this is. There's no guarantee at all that I'm going to solve it either, but I feel I've made a little bit of progress now. 9 is in one of those 3. I'm not going to use this 9 to reduce that pencil mark. You see, look, if the 9 was here, if the 9 was there, say, those would be the 3 radials coming out, and those might not have to be shaded. But the 11 cage needs some shadedness. Okay, we can, because we've got the shaded digit, these are definitely unshaded. The 2 is finished. Yeah, here you go. And there is a shaded, oh no, I don't know, there's a circle in one of these 3. I don't know which one. I mean, obviously in my paradigm it's one of these 2, but I don't know which one it's in. But here's an interesting point. It's not a 3. So whatever the thingy is here, it's a 4 or a 5. I'll put that in the middle. It's a 4 or a 5 for this one, because by Sudoku it can't be a 3. So it's either both of those are shaded, or one of them is shaded. And sorry if you can immediately see which one of those is correct. I can't do it at the moment. The world's most dense man cannot see the wood from the trees in this puzzle. Yeah. Okay. I really would love to know. I'd love to know what is going on with the circled 1. Is it there or there? And I suppose it probably is to do now with like circled 3. There must be some intelligent point I could make here. Oh yeah, I dimly see something. I do dimly see something, but I don't know how to use it. Oh dear. Okay, here's the thing I'm dimly seeing. What I've worked out is that the 2 digits here that are shaded that sum to 10 are 7 and 3. And I know that even if this 1 shifts here, that shifts the 3 to there. So the 3 in this box shares a column with the 1. Now the interesting thing for me about that is that means that the circle digit in this box, it can't be in the same column as the 1, because the 1 is the circle digit. So even if the 1 shifts here, the 3 is still above it and it's not able to be circled. So the circle digit here is also 4, 5 or 6. Well, it's got the option to be 6 as well, which this one didn't have. Yeah, that one didn't have because it's already got too many unshadeds in it. So this is 4, 5 or 6 for its circle. Now, how do we interpret that? I don't know. It's tricky as well, isn't it? Because until I know, I feel a bit lost by not knowing where this 1 is. I know you can never put a circle on a diamond. So I do know. So the diamond, okay, so the circle that's got to come in this column is really restricted because it can't be in these two rows. They've already got circles. And it can't be on a diamond. So it's either exactly there or it's there. It's in one of those two positions. I mean, I think it might be there. If it was 3 and it was here, then all of these would be unshaded. This would be unshaded. This would be shaded, and this would be a circled 4. I've got to be careful as well, though. It's the same with the 1. This 9 might be there, and that's going to shift this radial over to the right. Okay. No. I see again, I was about to make an error there. I was about to think about the 11 cage and say, 2 cells in that have to be shaded. Therefore, it's got to have at least 4 shadeds in the box. That's not true, because if the 9 was there, those are all shaded, and these 2 are shaded, and the 11 doesn't need that to be shaded. So those could be the 3 that are shaded in the box. Okay, so that's not how to do it. Okay, what's that then? Oh, actually, that's a really good question. Okay, so it's really strange how IcyFruit has put this together. I mean, in so many ways, but the way you have to get the deductions one after the other, you have to think completely differently. So again, I missed that diamond for ages. I didn't really think that this diamond would do anything, but it does now, doesn't it? Because remember that we worked out that this circle here is a 4 or a 5. Now that means that the circle up here can't be 4, 5 or 6, because that would make a combined 9 or higher, which is impossible actually, because I've got a 9. So this digit must see a circled 3 in one of those cells. I mean, that's crazy. But that means that isn't circled 3. It also means that this digit is now 7 or 8. Which is really nearly exciting. And circle, right, and because this is circled 3 now, in order to not break this total, all of those are unshaded, and that is a truth. And whichever one of these is circled 3 is throwing out a radial, which is going to make sort of the rest of its row unshaded, because it's already going to have picked up its shadedness. I mean, this one might move there, of course, but it's still picked it up. It's picked it up. So if that was a 3, that would be a thingy. Technical term for a thingy. Okay, I've written 4, 5. Oh, that's not the diamond value. That's the radial value. That's the circle value in this box. Gosh. Okay, so the circled value in this box is also 4, 5, or 6, because effectively now I've placed the 3. Right. So I have to be a bit careful now, don't I? I feel like 6 is a problem now. I've got to be careful where I put it, is what I'm thinking. Because 6, wherever I put circled 6, it's got to get access to circled 1, 2 or 3 in the other direction. It's got to. So there aren't going to be a whole plethora of places where circled 6 can go. I don't think. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to plot where I can never put a circle on a diamond. So I think I've got 4 positions for a circle in box 2. Now, and obviously this does have an interaction with wherever the diamond or wherever the circle ends up in this box. It's also slightly interesting to note I'm not sure actually. Oh, I'm so sorry. Wow, this is so confusing. It's so confusing. So if you I don't know. Okay, what about this box? See, this box is so complicated because obviously I think the circle can go in all of these cells. I mean, in theory, in our version, it can't go in these because of this 9, but I think in the real world it can go in these 3 cells. I do rather suspect that it can't go here, having said that, because it would immediately it definitely can't go there if it's a 6, that's for sure. Because if this is a 6, these two are both picking up 6 from the column, so they can't pick up more than 3 from the row. Now one of them can pick up 3 from box 1, but the other one would have to pick up it would have to pick up a circle from here, wouldn't it? And that wouldn't work. It would be a 4, 5 or 6. So that if that's the circle, it's a 4 or a 5. Which would mean, okay, so that would be a 4, 5 pair between these boxes, and there would be a circled 6 in this box. Which might be fine. I don't know. Okay, the other thing I ought to think about, to be honest, is there some sort of game being played with the remaining diamonds? I've overlooked the diamonds at every step of this solve. They've been important, and I haven't realised how important they've been. And that's very remiss of me. Or, okay, or is it to do with... Is it something to do... I don't know, I'm just floundering around now. I mean, it could be... No, it's not that. It could be Sudoku, could it? There's no 8 or 9 in that 13 cage, so... no, it doesn't need a 7 in it. It could have one, but it doesn't need one. So whichever one of these is a 1, one of these diamonds is seeing that 1, and the other one isn't. And the one that isn't, what is it seeing? And the answer, so let's say that was the circle. Let's say that is the 1 and this is the circle. What is that seeing in terms of what does it need to see to not break the bank? It's... No. Okay, no, let's say this is the 1. Then it's this diamond that's under pressure, isn't it? Because that diamond has to see something from its own box, which we know is a 4, 5 or a 6. And then it has to see something from its own row. That would have to see the 3 then, wouldn't it? Because one of these is a 6. Yeah, one of these circles is a 6. So anything it pairs up with cannot be 4 or 5. That feels like it matters, actually. That feels like it matters. I'm not sure it does, but it feels like it matters. So if, on the other hand, the 1 is here, that affects this diamond, and this diamond then is seeing one of these 2 circles in its column, which is a 4, 5 or a 6, and something in its row which can't be a 6, so the only option available would be a 3. So I think one of these diamonds sees a 3 in its row. And if it, so what I'm saying is, if neither of these was a 3 and the 3 was here, then the one of these diamonds that doesn't see the 1 below it is seeing 4, 5 or 6 from its own box and 4, 5 or 6 from its own row, but it can't be a 4, 5 pair because that would mean that there was no 6 in the grid, and that doesn't work. So one of these diamonds sees a horizontal 3, and given I know that the circle 3 is in this box, that is not there anymore. So there is a chance of a 3 here in the corner. And the digit here that is seeing the 3, well, we don't know. It's quite a big digit. It's a 7, 8 or 9. I mean, it's a small point, but it perhaps is okay to make it. So now this one, what's that one seeing? Oh, that's an interesting question. That's huge, isn't it? Oh my goodness, this could be it. Right, what is that seeing? From a circle perspective. It's seeing something in that row, but it's not seeing 3, it's not seeing 1, it's not seeing 2, so it's seeing 4 or 5 in its row. And from its column it's seeing 4 or 5 then. So that's a 9. And also, I don't quite know what this means. Hang on, that means that's not a 9. Okay, I've got a 3-9 pair. I think it means much more. It means something clever. Yeah. It needs to see 4 and 5 as a pair. Now, I worked out earlier this box has a 4 or a 5 as its special digit, and that needs to see it, so it's there. Whoa. Whoa. So that's 4 or 5. Let's get rid of this. And it also sees... this is where it's going to get tricky. It sees 4, 5 in its row, but I don't know if that's in its own box or not. I don't know. Well, hang on. But this one is seeing now 4, 5 in its row and 2 in its column. So it's never an 8. And it's never a 5, because it's not seeing 3. So that's 6 or 7. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. Bad, Simon. Oh, no. Careful. This 9 might not be here. It could be anywhere. But... Right, what's that diamond seeing? That might have to see the 3. Please let it be having to see the 3. It's not seeing 1 or 2. It can't see 4 or 5 because it would then be 9. And it can't see 6 because it would then be 10. It must see 3. Which means that's 3. And that's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight. Losing its religion. Right, now 9. And that is a legitimate pencil mark, is it? Oh, it's probably in the diamond, isn't it? It probably is. I mean, I don't know that, but it probably is. That 9 is there. So, okay, but this 3 is seeing that one. So this is a 7 or an 8 because it sees this one and this one. And now, if that's the circle, which it is, we've just worked that out, then you don't have any more circles in your own row. And I get to do shading. That. Oh, well, bah. Those two definitely. And then I'm going to make this one because I've lived with this radial forever, but I'm very conscious of the fact it might have to shift over here. Aha. But this is very interesting because now, how does this 11 cage work? Oh, bother. Well, it's interesting because if the 9 is here, these two are shaded and that one wouldn't be because of this. So this is 2 shadeds, 1 unshaded. I just don't know the disposition. It is definitely 2 shadeds and 1 unshaded though. Now, this is it. I don't know, is that true? Yeah, this is... Oh, this might have been available for a while, but I didn't spot it. Okay, this can't be a 6. We've simply run out of the possibilities for this to be 6. And I could have done this before, I think, by thinking about how the 3 radial, or the unshadedness from the 3 radial, was going to affect this box. It could never have had 6 in it. So this is 4, 5, this is 4, 5, and this one is 6, but I don't know where the 6 go. So, okay, alright, so we've understood. Now this is 4 or 5. Oh, nah, bother. Okay, we're getting up to Lord of the Rings territory now. Come on, please, Simon. Please use your brain. What do we do now? This is definitely seeing 3. But if it's seeing 1, it's a 4. If it's seeing the 4 or the 5 in the box, it's a 7 or an 8, and that would make a pair here in the row. What is it that's going to determine which one of these is the one? It must be something, mustn't it? I'm not sure what though. Okay, I know that's not a circle because I've got a circle in this column. So the circle's sort of tucked away over here now. And what does that mean? Oh, wait a minute. No. Why have I got 6 or 7 in there? That's not right, is it? I think that could still be 8. If it sees the 6 that's right over there. Why do I think this is seeing something here and not something there? I think that's an inaccuracy. I think that could see the 6 if it's over there, I think. But I didn't use that pencil mark for anything yet, so I don't think that led to any logical deduction that's not valid. So I know at least one of these is shaded. And I know this box has a circled 6 in it. Oh, no, that's right, isn't it? Because this 9 had to see a 4, 5. So I did know there was a 4 or a 5 in there. Yeah, that's logical. Yes. Okay, so the chain of logic, which I could have done better, but forgive me, I could have done this better. But the chain of logic was we worked out this was a 9 because it didn't see the 3, so it was seeing 4s, 5s, and 6s, so it had to see a 4, 5 pair. Now, oh, yeah, okay. And then we worked out that one. So we worked out that was a 9, but we didn't know where it got its 4, 5 from. We then worked out this was a 7 or an 8 because it's seeing this one and this one. So I do know this is seeing 4 or 5. That is legitimate. But so I know because it's seeing this one. But how did I work out? Oh, I'm worried now. When I said this was 9, that was correct, but could it have got its 4, 5 from its right rather than its left? Oh no, I need to go back and check. That was ages ago. So how did we do this? We worked out that was 9, and now how did I work out that was 9? I said it's not seeing 3, didn't I? How did I know it wasn't seeing 3? Oh, this is so confusing. I worked out that was 9 because it didn't see... I'd moved 3 up here. I can't remember quite how I did that, but then I knew this wasn't seeing it, so I knew this was 9. I took the 9 out of there, made that a 3-9 pair, that's legitimate. I also made this a 4-5, that's legitimate because it needs to be seen, and I know there's a 4-5 in here. Now, what I then did, I then amended this, which I think was possibly wrong. I then said that was a 3. I think that is valid, that 3, because that 3 is necessary for this not to break the bank, because that's seeing 4 or 5 from the column. It cannot see 4 or 5 in the row, so it needs to see the 3. That is a valid deduction. I'm happy with that. I then do some shading. That's okay. I then say this. I then said this is 4, 5. Now that might be an inaccuracy because I can't remember why I said that, but I've got a horrible feeling I decided it was 4, 5. Oh no, that is legitimate. No, that is legitimate, because the reason I got that down is my shading. It's not possible to have 6 as a shading in box 2 anymore. So the 4, 5 that this 9 sees is, yeah, this is great. So I didn't make an inaccuracy. I didn't. But what I didn't do was to take it to its natural conclusion, which is once I know this is a 4, 5, and I know it because of the shading in the box rather than anything else, that 4, 5 must avail itself of this 9. This 9 must see the circle in here, which is now in one of those cells. So that is, look, I get all of this. And there's a 4 or a 5 in one of these. And there's a 6 in one of these, which is the circled digit. I mean, in our version, it's here. And interestingly, in our version, that would be a 5, which unfortunately is possible. But in the other version, that would be a 6. These two would have to add up to 11. They would be restricted. They'd have to be 3, 8 or 4, 7, which is probably fine, but that's what they would have to be. So one of these is 4, 5. Okay. Maverick sounds like he's hovering over the local airfield. Naughty Maverick. And this is 4 or 5. And somehow this gets resolved, apparently. And I know loads of you will know how, but I don't know yet. I'm trying to see, I really am. It may be 1, 2, 3. I know one of these is a 4. So 2 of those 3 are shaded. I don't know how to do that. Golly gosh. Okay. I wonder how many times I've said golly gosh in this video. It's probably more than twice. Okay. Right. No, that doesn't work. Oh, that's a weird thing. Those two are the same digit. I mean, that's worth memorizing, isn't it? They both see the same circles, just in different ways. There's sort of a rectangle, and these are the vertices of a rectangle, but those two see the same thing. Does that matter? So I don't really know quite how it matters, but when we get one of them, we'll get the other. So I don't know. I'm not sure quite how to think about that. Oh, we know, don't we? And we might have to keep track of this, that there is a 3 vertically above wherever the circled 1 is in box 2. Is that going to matter? Or is there, perhaps there's a reason this can't be double? There must be a 3rd digit in here, maybe? That doesn't feel likely, but maybe. That... Oh, wait. Hang on. Yes, this is the key. So the diamonds keep giving, and I keep missing it, but I've spotted this one a bit more quickly. This digit, what if it saw its own diamond? We know it's seeing 6 from all the earlier logic, and it would be seeing 4 or 5 beneath it, and it would be too big. So actually, this is not the diamond that we're looking for. The diamond, this one needs to see the circled 1. And that's great, because that means the circled 1 is in the right place. And finally, we get to remove this diamond, this circle. So this has always been the correct circled one. This is now, we know this is a 4 or a 5. Oh, bother. Okay, so we know that is not 9 anymore. So the 9 moves here. And that is a 7 or an 8. And I have got a 7-8 pair in the first row. And that digit can't be 4 or 5 because it sees a 4-5 pair. These are different, remember. And this number is that. Oh no, that's it. There, that is it. That is it. Well, it's some. Oh, this is so beautiful. Look at this finish coming up now. Oh, I say finish. I mean, I've hardly got any digits in the grid. That's so comedy. I've just said, look at this finish. I've got 3 hours 16 on the clock. And I've probably got 10 digits in the grid, but look. Right, and now don't forget, this is a 7, because it sees 6 here and 1. So that means this is 8, that goes around, right. Okay, so this is not 1, 7 anymore, that's 3, 5. Okay, actually, here's another point. We now know... Oh, this is really good. Remember we had to put the 3 above the 1 in column 2. Well, it's got to be there now. And that's the 3 because we know this is where the shading is because we got the 1 in the correct position. We actually had this. This was correct. Well, no, it might not be correct. The 9 might not be correct, but it's correct so far as the vertical shading is concerned. Now, oh. That's nearly become a 7 by Sudoku. Now, can we do better then? Well, yeah, we can do something. This has to be shaded now. Oh, in fact, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hang on. Hang on, this row. Once this became a 6... I have to put 6 shadeds in the row, and I've got 3 unshaded. Maybe that's only just happened, but these all have to be shaded. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that this is correct vis-a-vis the 9. We still don't know. But I was going to say that couldn't be a domino in the 12 cage because it would have had to be 4, 8. So I did already know that was definitely going to be shaded. Now I've got 5 shaded, and this is ambiguous which way round these are. So it's still not quite. Oh, it is. That 7 must see a 4, and that means that's 5, and that means that is shaded. Here we go. Here we go. I've got 4 in that column. I've done it. That's finished. So we can't have any more shaded there. So that is shaded. And therefore, this column... Oh, you see, this is tricky. I don't know, because I don't know where the 9 goes. But, okay, I think these two are ambiguous. But the 6... The 6 still needs 2 more, doesn't it? So... If this was the 9 column, we'd have 3 here, 4, 5, 6. So we'd have those 6 highlighted. And in this version, it's these 6. So this is the ambiguity, depending on where the 9 ends up. Ah, and I know... Oh no, I nearly know it, because now look at I can't put 9. No, that's predicated on this being true, which it might not be. It might be over there. But hang on. If the 9 was over here, if the 9 was over there, then the 6 would be here. This would be unshaded. So I'd be on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd only have one shaded cell in my 11 cage. That cannot be true. So the 9, I still don't know where it goes, because it could be there, but it's definitely in this column. It's not in these two cells, and that's still a win for the goodies, because now that means this is the 6, because I need to put a circled digit in column thingy, 9. And now one of these is a 5, but I don't know which one. No, I do know which one, because the 6 is finished, so the 9 is in this column, so this is a 9 by Sudoku. And although I don't know which of these is a 9, this shading is approximately, well, it is correct as regards this box, so that is 5. 1, 2, 4, 6 into these cells. So I'm going to actually do something outrageous and do Sudoku, which is totally not helped me. But it does though, doesn't it? Because I've got 3 digits here from 1, 2, 4, 6 that have to add up to 12. And given the options, I know what they are. So that is a 1. This is 2, 4, 6. The 6 here tells me the order. Oh my goodness me. I don't know. I don't know which way round the 9 goes still. It's quite incredible. What? I mean, how did you make this? Unfortunately, IcyFruit doesn't reply when I ask these questions. I would love to know how you've made this. This is just absolutely extraordinary. 1 is down here. I'm going to have to be careful. I don't want to misdo Sudoku. 7. I'm taking that 9 out. Don't trust it. 7. 7 is almost in there as well. They can't. No, they can't both be in here. I was going to say they can't both be in the 16 cage. One of them's in the 16 cage. I don't know what that's doing. Right. Okay, let me just take stock for a moment here. 3, 9. Maybe double click 9s. No, that's silly. You know there's the ambiguity over the 9s. Oh, there's a 1-9 pair there at the bottom of column thingy. 7 is in a domino here. 1 is in one of 2 places in box 4. And okay, so it's probably going to be this 11 cage, is it then? So this has got 3 real digits in it that sum to 11, and it is only 3 now. I love the way that this 4 were 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, how have we managed to figure that out? Oh, no, that's fine. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's perfect. It's perfect. 5 has the correct number. Okay. 2, 4, 5, 8. Bother. I think it must be the remaining cages. Okay, this cage doesn't have 4 or 5 in it. So what has it got? It's not got 9 in it. Could it be 8, 1, 2? Would that work? Might do. 7, 1, 3. Would that... Oh, that nearly doesn't work. Okay. Or if it doesn't have those in it, then its next digit it could have in it would be 6. How would that work? 6 with 2 digits that add up to 5, which would have to be 6, 2, 3. Which is also quite challenging. 6, 2, 3 might be okay. And after that, it can't have 5 or 4 in it. So unfortunately, I think we've got a lot of options there. Okay, let's try more. 5 I can place in box 1. I didn't see that, but that's a welcome addition to the panoply of digits that we have got. So this is a 6. There's definitely a 6 up here. Oh, 5 is nearly in the 13 cage. Oh, my thing. I can't deal with that. Hang on, that's my phone. Let me just check. No, okay, I can't deal with that. Bizarrely, that was an insect-related question. This video started off with I don't know where that wasp went. I never found it. Okay, come on. Think, Simon. Maybe that can't be a 9. If that's a 9, these two would add up to 7, and they couldn't be 1, 6. There'd be 2, 5, or 3, 4. I don't know. That might be okay. Alright, let's try this row. 1, 3, 8 to place. So that cell is 1 or 8. These are 1, 3, 8. That's a 6. Hang on. Look, there's a diamond here I've not filled in. I mean, that's totally remiss of me. And well, the good thing is it works. That is a good thing. Oh, right, that's important. I can see that immediately. I've now got a 7, 8 pair down here. But also, surely, I've got to think about the 13 cage. That's got to have a 6 in now, because 5, 4, and 3 only add up to 12. Well, that's true, but it doesn't help me. Because, unfortunately, well, okay, maybe it does. What are the other 2 digits in it then? So it's 6 and 2 digits that add up to 7, which are not 1, 6 then. So they're either 2, 5, which it looks quite likely. Oh. So it's either 6 here and a 2, 5 pair. Or it's 6, 3, 4, which would make this 3. And that's 4, 6. That's distressing, isn't it? Oh, but if this is 7, 8, why do I think that? Why do I think 8 is down here? Oh, because it's shade. Yeah, it's a circle. So that is a 1. I should have seen that. So what do I need in this box then? 1, 2, 4. That looks like it's trying to do something, doesn't it? But I'm not sure what. And in this column, I need 2s, 4s, and 6s. So that's interesting. 8's become placed in this box. That's been available for ages, but never mind. So 8's in one of 2 places there. 1 is definitely in this domino. This digit is 2 or 4 actually. It can't be 6 because I worked out 6 was in the 13 cage. So now I get 6 in this column. Look, it's got to be there, which means this is 2 or 4. Bother. I think all of that is just me being daft actually. I worked out 6 was in here, didn't I? Can we do something with that? We probably can. It would be so harsh if this has got a very difficult sort of back section. I don't know. I still don't know how to do it. Is it something to do with... Okay, 6 is in one of those 3 cells. So 6 is in one of those 3 cells. In row 6, I need 1, 2, 6, 8. So this digit, whoops, is 1, 6 or 8, apparently. These are 2, 6 or 8, and that's not 8. And that seems to be able to be anything. And what's this? 1, 2, 6, 8. Let's put it in. If it's 8, that's a 1, 2 pair, which looks possible maybe. If it's 6, this is a... it's not 6, because that would have to be a 2, 3 pair, and that would break here, so it's not 6 actually. So it's 1, 2 or 8, which makes me think this might be a 1, 2, 8 triple. That would be a 3, and that would be a 4. So we'd actually know a lot of this column. 6, 7, 9 into these squares, so that would be a 6. Is that a problem? I don't think so. And I've still got to bear in mind, it's going to be tricky, isn't it? I've got to somehow work out what this 16 cage is. I've got no clue how to do that. Okay, 3 is in one of those 3 cells. Is there any way that can be a 3? These 2 digits would add up to 8. So this would be a 6 or a 7. That's very possible, I think. Okay, don't know what to do with that. Let's try. What do you think? I don't know. Oh, I've got a 2 here. Sorry, that's been available for ages. I am getting a bit tired now. Okay, so that puts 2 in the corner of the grid. Now, does that do something in this column? 1, 3, 6, 8 to place. Okay, so this is 1, 3 or 6. And this is 3, 6 or 8. Oh dear. Okay, I'm trying to do this by pencil marking and it's not working at all, is it? Oh, I know there's a 6 in here. Remember, let's try and remember that at least. So it's either 3, 4, 6 here, or it's 6 here, and this is a 2, 5 pair. Which would be lovely, because that would put 4. Oh, maybe you can't put 7 in there. I've never really thought about that. If 7 is in here, what do we partner it up with? 2 digits add up to 9, which couldn't be 2, 7, but could be just about anything else. No, that's not how to do it. I dispute it. 3 is a bit restricted, is it? Not really. Golly gosh, okay. That's another golly gosh. Or, no, I don't know. So hang on. Yeah, this I've also got to keep track of this 9 and 8 business, just in case they're going to flip round. But it doesn't really matter, does it? All that's going to do is... Have I done all the diamonds? That's a sensible thing to ask. I think so. Oh, that can't be a 3. Just seen, there's a 3 here. Does that matter? So 4... Oh, come on, Simon. Where's 4 in this box? 4's over here. Yeah, I definitely am getting tired. That knocks 4 out of these cells, which surely means that was one of the options, wasn't it? Where did that go? Was it, if this was 3, wasn't that 6, 4? So it's just never been available. That's a 6. And this is a 2, 5 pair. Well, thank goodness. Okay. So this is an 8. And this is a 1, and that's a 3. which it doesn't, rotten thing. I thought it was going to mean something. It decided it didn't want to. So that's a 4. And that digit should be doable. That's going to be a 1, I think. Okay, and these 2 digits over here now are 4 and 6. Not resolved, apparently, unbelievably. So maybe row 7 is good? 2, 5, 6, 8. Don't think it is, but let's put the options in. 2, 5, 6, 8. That is not 5. And that's not 2 or 6. This column, 2, 4, 5, 8. So that's 2, 4, 5. No, 2, 4, 5, 8 is useless. Wow. Wow. Oh, I'm so sorry. This is still... It's... oh, that's good. Right, I see. 4 is in this little congregation down here as well now. So hang on. Oh, that's it then. If that's true... no, 3 isn't in the congregation. 3 is not in the congregation. But this can't be 4, can it? Because wouldn't that would shift 9 and 7 down here, and then we'd have to accompany those with a 0. Yeah, this is a 7 or a 9. Now, if it's 7, this is 9, and we've got 4 and 3 to go in, and that looks quite plausible. Whereas if this is 9, well, then our shading would be correct. This 7 and 4 would be in there, and they would have to be accompanied with 5. 7, 4, 5. Is that a problem for some reason? Then 3 would be there. 3 would be there. 3 would be there. It might be okay. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know. So are we going to have to come back to this again? Wow, I don't know. If that's 3, then we would know that that's 9, 3, 4. If that's 8, then 8 would be in here. Do I know anything? See, I don't know anything about that digit, I don't think. Yeah, okay. I mean, I think I'm just getting tired. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is fairly straightforward now. that's gibberish. So let's think about that. Let's try and work out why. What did we say the options were for this? 1, 2, 8 was one option. Is that okay or not? If it's 1, 2, 8, this is 3, 4. Oh, so you... Yeah, I don't know. That might be fine. Not sure. 1, 3, 7. 1, 3, 7. That pushes... That pushes 7 over here. So we'd have to put 5 here. This would have to be a 4. That doesn't work. You get too many 4s in the column. So that's not 1, 3, 7. Right. That's important. I'm going to use that then, because I can see how. If that's 1, 3... I'm just going to double check the logic. If that's 1, 3, 7... You can see this is 9. So 7 is in here. Along with 4, I know 4's in there. So 7, 4, 5 is how we're going to get there. But the 5 is going to be here, and this is going to be a 4. And that's going to be a 4, because this is 1, 3, 7. Right, that definitely doesn't work. So I'm now going to say, where's 7 in this column? And the answer is it's in the same 2 cells that 9 is in the column. So this is now a 7, 9 pair. You sort of think that might do something. So okay, so if this is 7, that's 4, 5. Is that okay? Might be. That would be 8, 1. That would be 3. And that would be 7, I think. So that would be 3, 7. I don't know. That might be fine. What about... It's really... I don't know. I think there's a simple way to see this. I'm just failing to see it. And if we worked out if that was 9, that was 3, 4, didn't we? Okay, and if this is... Yeah, so we can pencil mark this. Either this is 9 and this is 3, 4. Which is going to put another 3 in the corner. Or it's 7, and because there's 4 in it, it's 4, 5. But that way round, we might not know the order. So 5 here, 4 here, or 5 here. So these are the options. And I'm scanning along the rows, trying to see whether that's in any way useful. And I'm failing. So if that's 7, we've got a 4, 5 pair. This becomes a 1. That becomes an 8. So that becomes 2, 6, I want to say. 1 in the box is definitely in one of those cells now, apparently. So 1 is in one of those 2 cells. I think that's probably been the case forever. It's probably in here, but I'm not certain. If it's not, what did we work out? Did that have to be 6 something? 6, 2, 3. Oh no, that could never be 6. Oh, maybe it could now. Maybe it could if that's 6. No, 6, 2, 3 doesn't work actually, because that's going to put 8 here and 8 here. So that can't be 6, 2, 3. Yeah, that's good. Alright, so there is a 1 in here, and I know where it goes. So that's 1, which means that's 1 and that's 4. Please do something. I've got a horrible feeling this is not doing anything. These 2 digits, oh, that's good, because that being a 2 or an 8 means that these are adding up to 10. So this is a 2, this is 1, 2, 8, which means this is 6. And that's 3 and that's 8. And Sudoku tells us that's 8. So this, okay, so this isn't 6 anymore. This is 2 or 5. Whoops, sorry. It's 2 or 5. Ah! Which probably does something. Okay. Wow. 1, 2, 8. The 1, 2, 8's actually done. I just didn't see it. So that gives me a 2, 6 pair here, which means I've now... Oh, now I still don't know. Okay, but maybe this 2, 6 pair does something. Yay. Why have I got 6's labelled there? Yeah, I've got a 6 labelled here, so this is 2. That's 5. That's 2, and no, that's not going to help. But it's at least it's something. 6. Okay, that's still. We're still in the game. We're still in the game. This is 2 4 7s. And that's not able to be 2. And in this column we need 1 3 5 6. So these are 3 5 6, and that isn't 3. And that one we don't know. And that's 1 or 5. It can't be 6 or 3. And that's 1, 3 or 5. So again, I know 6 is up here, but I don't think... I mean, how does this get resolved? Please resolve yourself. Please. I must be quite close to finishing it now. 4 6 8. Okay, in this column, 4 6 8. That's unrestricted. Oh, it's not 6 actually, sorry. And 4 6 8 down here, and that can't be 6. So the only place for 6 in this column is here. And I look across expecting it to do something, and it doesn't do anything. Oh, 2. So if this was... No, there's not enough space in the row. Look at the bottom row. If you imagine this is a 7. If this is 7, this is a 4 5 pair. So we'd have 7 here, 4 5 here. And if we go along the row, we've got too many digits that are from 2 4 5 7 8. I think we'd have to put somewhere in the row. We'd have to put 9 1 and 3. And there would only be two cells for those. That's not enough. And that means that is 9, which means my shading is wrong. It means that's 7, and it means, oh, I've got to be very careful now. So it means that is 8, and that's 7. And we've got to correct this. Now, that means this becomes shaded in the bottom row, whoopsie, and this becomes unshaded to make the 8 work with the 1 radial, so the 1 is still correct. Now these two cells, oh look, I am going to get another 3 in the corner. That's bizarre. They've got to be 4, and that's 3 in the corner, that's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. Right, this is 6. That is a 3. This is 5 7. And hopefully, oh no, do not try and download a graphics driver 3 hours 48 minutes into the video, please. 9 goes here, look. This is a 1, that's a 1, that's a 5. That's a 5, that's a 2. That seems to have to be a 2 by Sudoku. It looks like it's a 4 8 pair, and you sort of think that must be resolved, but I can't see why. Let's just put that in case. The 2, yeah, the 2 is doing things. So 4 2 5 4 8 8. This is a 4 7 pair. And so, oh yeah, the 5 is doing it. 5 7 7 4 4 4 6. Yes. I think is the shade. I mean, it must be correct. You can't. Yes, you can't. Shambhala. Oh, that was so hard. That was so hard. I need to go and have a stiff gin tonic. What an incredible puzzle. That was so complicated. It was so complicated. Thank you so much if you're still watching now. Absolutely lovely puzzle, and an incredible puzzle. And what a relief to get through it. Let me know if you're still here. Please think about subscribing if you're not subscribed. We'd be grateful. We'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.